Hi, I'm Caroline Mitchell, one of your retreat hosts, and this is Sylvia, who's my wingman, who I possibly could not do this event without. And yeah, we came together through an idea. We'd been working together that actually the work we'd been doing would make an incredible 5-day retreat. So we've expanded the content of what Sylvia and I both do. And Sylvia is the absolute expert on empowerment and disempowerment and how to work through it. She's incredible. I know personally because I know people that have worked with her, and she is life-changing. So you've got, is it 2.5 days they've got with us, Sylvia?
They've got about 2.5 days, and then there's time with others as well along the way.
Yeah, so you've got the dynamic duo for a couple of days, and then some amazing other workshop hosts. So I'll let Sylvia introduce herself and her background, because she's highly qualified, highly professional, but more importantly, massively compassionate and empathic.
Yeah, so I'm Sylvia. So I'm a mental health nurse background. Did my training in 1999 for mental health nursing, and then have worked in and out of the NHS and privately. And then I am a psychotherapist now. So since about 2006, trained in various different psychotherapies. Probably the better known one is cognitive behavioural therapy, but there are some others that I've trained in as well, particularly specialising in childhood trauma. So I'm a trauma therapist, and complex traumas is my specialist area. And so yeah, having to think about some of that childhood stuff and then how that impacts you in the here and now. So hopefully that's the element that I'll be bringing to the retreat, is more about how we are disempowered, and we are in patterns that we have probably been in since childhood from reasons that are not our fault, and you know, trying to get you to understand that and stand in your power and be aware of making those changes and what they look like.
What I find really interesting with the work that you do is that, and it's different from counselling, which we'll maybe talk about in another video.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting with the work that you do is you don't go poking about, you don't go prodding those really deep, dark secrets and make people spill their, worst fears and pain and relive that trauma. And I think that's the beauty of the work that actually we're doing throughout this whole week, isn't it?
Yes.
We have these really deep wounds that, do you know what? We've lived them once. We do not want to revisit them again.
No. And it's just not helpful to just, I call it like going through the spaghetti of your past. You get lost. It's quite painful. It's traumatic to go over those things. We can't change the past. That's where my stance is. But understanding and having a passion for yourself, that's where things have stemmed from. You don't need to name them, but just know, you know your life. But just really being aware of kind of how that makes you sticky now, in terms of, and particularly in terms of your relationship with yourself, but your relationship with others as well, and those dynamics that can go on.
Yeah, I can feel that. No, I know we've worked together, and I can feel that in my solar plexus. Yes. And it is that spaghetti of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's interesting how, I remember saying to you, we had dinner, and I remember saying to you, I'm really grateful that you're doing this program with me, because we did a trial program, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Said, I really don't see how I can't possibly think you'll believe you'll get anything out of it.
Yeah. And I was the same. I was like, but you know all this all as well, Caroline. And but it was quite powerful. We did it over a couple of weekends, didn't we? Just walk through it with a few guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Friends. And actually, I mean, it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, whether you are new to some of this empowerment stuff, and you're just curious about it, or whether you're a bit further along and you have been working on this stuff for years, as you and I have, and you were very conscious, sort of saying, Sylvia, you know all of this, or you'll be fine. And actually, I think it got to a stage, didn't it? I think it might have been the second day, or maybe the first day of the second set of the weekend, where I was just like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to have to be the one that hold space for
Yeah.
everyone. So it's really interesting, you know, it's those roles that we go into and that actually disempower us in being able to be solid within ourselves and get what we need and want out of life. So it's fascinating. I mean, we both took things away from that, as did everybody else, and they were all pretty experienced. So yeah, it's interesting.
There's two of the girls that were on that had like big life-changing moments, didn't they, as well? Like standing up for themselves, where normally they'd have gone, oh, actually, oh, you're powerful, you're this, you're that, oh no, I'll kowtow and bow down. They actually stood up for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the work that we'll be doing over these 5 days. We'll be working through disempowerment, holding the space for you to, you know, feel some of those emotions, but help you clear them. And that's what that's about. And, you know, Sylvia's the absolute expert in the disempowerment, because it shows up in so many ways, doesn't it, with disempowerment?
Yeah.
This is the thing, you know, when we don't stand up for ourselves, we think everybody's better than us. The imposter syndrome, lack of confidence. And oh my God, I'm sure you've all got a million other words you could add to that list. But that's what we're working through, is to hold the space for you to understand where disempowerment sits in your life. You haven't got to revisit it, but to actually lead you forward on a journey to owning your space and actually learning to love you, which is a complete corny phrase.
But it is understanding, isn't it? It's understanding those wounds and how they limit your belief systems about yourself, and that then topples out onto others and your relationship with others. So a big part of that I kind of brought when we were doing the trial with the guinea pigs, we'll call them that, the guinea pigs, our friends, was that, you know, thinking about your energetic space and how we can just give our power away constantly, or we can get into pulls and pushes in power dynamics with people, and they're all to do with that self-awareness of those limiting beliefs, what's happened from maybe past, and little patterns that you're stuck in, and just really trying to tool you up and give you the skills to be able to be a bit more solid and a bit more empowered, and understand how that looks when you're interacting in the world and with yourself. That this is all about us developing and going forward, and, you know, us looking after our souls and honoring ourselves, and that's kind of where we want people to be at, is really just appreciating themselves and some of that soul retrieval, really.